I still don't know how many people actually stepped onto that train at 5:45 a.m. My name is Lee Jun, and I do data analysis in Futian, which means the Shenzhen Line 1 is my daily reality. It's boring work, but the pay keeps me there. That Wednesday, I was a wreck after working until midnight, with eyes so dry they stung. I lived in a cramped Luohu apartment where the bathroom walls always felt damp and smelled of mildew. After a frustrating shower with fluctuating water temperatures, I threw on my black work pants and a grey polo, then grabbed a 5 yuan cup of sweet soy milk for the walk to the station. The platform was unnervingly empty for Luohu. Usually there are cleaners or night shift workers, but that morning I only saw a drowsy security guard in the corner and a woman on the opposite platform staring down at nothing. When the silver train screeched in with its rhythmic clatter, I finished my drink and stepped into a middle carriage. There were maybe 5 or 6 people scattered throughout the train. I sat near the door watching the black tunnel walls fly by until 30 seconds into the ride I heard it. A wet, repetitive sniffing sound right behind me. I glanced back at an old man in a black coat who appeared to be fast asleep with his head against the glass. The sound happened 3 more times at perfect 10-second intervals, like a recording on a loop. By the time we reached the next station, the old man had vanished without me even hearing him stand up. The air shifted as we moved deeper into the city. People boarded, but nobody got off, which made the car feel crowded yet silent. Then came the smell of hospital-grade disinfectant, sharp and clinical. I scanned the passengers looking for a source, but everyone looked ordinary, except for a figure in the wheelchair area. It was a man in stark white hospital pajamas, sitting perfectly still with long yellowed fingernails resting on his knees. As I walked past him, my arm brushed his sleeve, and a jolt of ice-cold dread shot through me. His clothes felt like they had just come out of a freezer. His skin was a deathly translucent white, and a deep purple-red bruise ringed his neck like a permanent shadow from a rope. That's when the voice crawled out of him, not a sniffle, but a strained guttural rasp that forced every word out with agonizing effort, saying, "You are looking at me." I bolted for the doors at the next stop, but my curiosity betrayed me. I turned back to look through the window as the train began to move. The man had lifted his head and was staring directly at me. His eyes were wide open and completely white without pupils, and his mouth was stretched into a silent scream with black-crusted blood at the corners. I collapsed against a railing on the platform, trembling, as the train disappeared into the dark. I didn't take the next train because the same sniffing sound and that rasping voice began echoing from deep inside the tunnel, getting louder and closer, even though no train was there. I ran until I reached the surface drenched in cold sweat and took a taxi home. I found old forum posts about a man who committed suicide by hanging himself in a Line 1 carriage 3 years ago. To this day, my right shoulder where I touched him remains frozen with a deep internal cold that no heater can fix. Even now when I close my eyes, I see those white pupils. He isn't just in my head, he is waiting. Have you ever encountered something on a train that logic couldn't explain? Or heard a sound that didn't belong to the living? If you find yourself at the wheelchair bay on the Shenzhen line, one at dawn, look closely at the floor for traces of white disinfectant powder that never fades. But if you hear someone sniffing behind you, whatever you do, do not turn around. Do you believe these tracks carry more than just commuters? Or is this just another ghost in the machine?
The story has ended, but they have noticed you now. You are already deep within the hollows to ensure you find your way back, or perhaps to ensure you never leave. You must mark your presence. Like the shadow you saw, share the whispers you heard, and if you are truly brave, subscribe to Midnight Hollows, because some things only exist in the dark. See you next midnight.